Headlines most affecting Abbotsford this week. A Toronto homicide with an Abbotsford connection. Mission Mayor Paul Horn talking about his first full year as the mayor. Body armor for Mission firefighters. And Wallyball will visit Abbotsford. That's coming up in sports. Our guest this week includes the mayor of Mission, Paul Horn. All right, Abbotsford, let's get started. On November the 29th, Toronto police revealing details of a homicide investigation. On the night before, on the 8th, police responded to a shooting in a parking garage. The victim was well known to Abbotsford police, and before moving to Toronto, Parmville Chahill was living in Abbotsford. He was believed to be the target of a 2015 drive-by shooting that killed an innocent senior, Ping Shan Ao, and this investigation continues. In our continuing series of local mayors checking in on how their first year of the 2022 to 24 term or 26 term is, the mayor who started this challenge, Mission Mayor Paul Horn, will have his 2 cents worth coming up in an interview. That'll be in just a few minutes' time. Drivers being advised of overnight traffic diversions on Highway 1 between 216th and 232. And that's for next week. Now, during these diversions, traffic is going to be reduced to one lane in each direction through the project site. The traffic pattern changes are necessary to allow crews to safely install the concrete work for the new Glover Road crossing girders that are going to be over Highway 1. And this will be in effect for all of next week, right through until the 19th. Body armor for firefighters is nothing new. Not every department uses them, and sadly it's becoming more and more evident that those fighting fires have to take extra precautions for their own safety. At the Monday, November 6th meeting of Mission Council, they unanimously approved $15,000 to buy body armor for firefighters. Well, the city of Abbotsford told abbyTV, quote, when responding to calls in areas where known hazards or potential for violence exists, Abbotsford Fire Rescue Service has a wait for police status. For areas where there is no known hazards, firefighters do follow a strict hazard assessment to ensure that they protect themselves from hazardous situations. At the November 6th Abbotsford Council meeting, Council gave first and second readings to a 4-story apartment project. The site consists of 4 vacant, single-detached residential parcels along Mayfair Avenue and a portion of the former McCallum Medical Building site, with road frontages on Cottage and McCallum. The proposed development is located on the west side of McCallum and north of Mayfair. Now, to the north is a vacant site that was previously the MSA Hospital, which is under application proposing a development of a 6-story apartment building. And the surrounding area consists of detached residential use and low-rise apartments, as well as mixed commercial and office uses. All of that is up on the City of Abbotsford website on their agenda. In October, abbyPD led Project Off the Rail in partnership with CP Rail Police. This sees abbyPD patrolling railways stretching through Abbotsford. Patrols were conducted along the rail lines and included a number of visits to homeless camps that were along or close to the tracks. The project's focus was on to identifying and addressing violent offenders and target the vulnerable population who live in those homeless camps. Now, as a result, abbyPD arrested 6 offenders for outstanding warrants. They also charged 3 people known to police with new charges, including removing 3 weapons. The return of salmon spawning at the Fraser Valley Conservancy's conservation property along Windabank Creek in Mission, rather special time of the year. Salmon in the City is an event coming up on Saturday where you bring your nature questions, learn about the history of the creek site, and the importance of community involvement. Now, you don't have to register. The event takes place outdoors, rain or shine. You'll find this at the dead end at the west end of Logan Avenue in Mission, and that's in front of the Embers Barbecue House. And next week marks the return of the 2023 Rotary Christmas Show presented by Prospera Credit Union. Tune in next Thursday, November the 23rd at 7 o'clock for an evening of music and comedy featuring the finest local artists and school kids. Both Chill TV and abbyTV premiering it. It will simulcast it on abbyTV, of course. It's a great family fun way to start the holidays. Coming up, our interview with the Mission Mayor, Paul Horn, and Coach Wally comes to Abbotsford. This week continues with something that we started a few weeks ago, and that is a mayor's challenge. And this started off with this gentleman, the mayor of Mission, Paul Horn. He wanted to have other mayors of the Fraser Valley talk about the first year of this new term. And of course, we've already heard from the mayor of Abbotsford, the mayor of Chilliwack. You're finally getting around to do your own challenge here. But seriously, this is your first year of a full term. I wouldn't call it good, bad, and the ugly. Well, the good and then what was kind of a rough ride. Let's start off with the good and the first year, things that you've been able to accomplish.
I think one of the most important things for us is that we have really seen our housing numbers, particularly our multifamily housing numbers, increase dramatically. So last year we had about 900 units, and for the first time ever, a significant portion of those were multifamily units, apartments, and townhomes. And so a lot of the work we're doing here is very much in line with what the province is asking of communities right now. And the other major priority for us has been moving forward in terms of our economic development, opportunities for jobs locally here. So our municipal industrial area up off Cade Bar in Mission here, some property down by Hatzick have all begun to densify. We're looking at some other opportunities. We've created Bridgehead Investments Corporation, a new economic development corporation, and that's really generating a lot of provincial support around our waterfront. So those have been some of the biggest moves for us, but of course in each case they bring with them a series of challenges as well.
Yeah, I want to get to that. And again, not the bad and the ugly, but something that may have gone either sideways in that. And there's been plenty of controversy with the waterfront area. What's the next challenge? It seems that I almost get the impression there's some bruised egos with just trying to put the pieces together of this puzzle. Am I off base here?
Well, I think it's changed a lot. I think what's happening is that we have community members now who are starting to actually come aboard the idea that the financials finally make sense, because we're really the last undeveloped waterfront in the whole the lower mainland, greater Vancouver, and Fraser Valley area. And as a result, because of the raising demand for both waterfront residential and retail, as well as for industrial lands, some of the things that would have never made financial sense a few decades ago, raising dikes, improving highways, and doing what we can to improve that land, wouldn't have made sense a few generations ago, but now they absolutely do. So we had our public information event the other night announcing the Economic Development Corporation, and we had some of those very same landowners down with nothing but enthusiasm. I think people genuinely are seeing that this is getting traction. It just won an award on the Canadian scale from Canadian Economic Development Association that has us spotlighting the project in France next March. We just got awarded a transportation study by the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure for that whole area. And then also a design around some dike improvements. So genuinely, the signals are all very positive right now. But we do need people to understand, I think, two things. First, this is not going to happen over a 1 or 2 year span. And second, it's not all being driven by the city. It really does involve collaborating with those landowners down there. And that work will continue.
Yeah, you bring up a good point of that, especially with dikes and stuff. It is, ironically, it's been 2 weeks almost to the day since that atmospheric event. And of course, we keep an eye on the Mission Gauge. There was the recent international agreement of cooperation with the Nooksack and the Sumas River, Sumas Prairie. How does that affect the Fraser River and your side of the Fraser River? I mean, we talk about Abbotsford all the time, but Mission didn't walk away from that event unscathed either.
Right. I think that what most people may not understand is that the parts of Mission that were most affected during the atmospheric river event were not actually in the city of Mission. A small number of homes were down near Shook Road out towards the lake there. But most of it were areas F and G and the electoral areas. And we're working with them and with Lacamo First Nation, Fraser Valley Regional District, and the province. And we believe have got a very sophisticated and a leading way of going at it with a new Hatzick watershed stewardship team. So we're really working in the long term to improve the infrastructure down there. So diking, pumps, and agreeing on not only the strategy for reducing water during those types of events, but actually making sure that we have built infrastructure in the first place so that flooding is less likely. And then on the waterfront area, it's really about building up the dike on the eastern portion of the waterfront, elevating it there. And that's why this provincial study is so important. And we just invested in our Lehn Creek pump station. So both of those things will ultimately make it so that we don't have to bring out the Tiger Dam every time we're worried about a winter event or the spring freshet.
And again, when it comes to transportation on Highway 7, the other big thing, too, is the recent announcement of some improvements to the west of Mission on Highway 7 on the Lougheed. So that's something that's down the road as well. As always, you are very much welcome, even though you finally got on your own challenge. But
well, I just have to throw a little bit of a shot out there at my colleagues from Abbotsford and Chilliwack. I guess when you run an automotive shop before you become elected, you're a little bit faster than those of us who. I'm a little bit outlier because I don't have that background, but maybe I need to go and get a little bit of service from either one of the other two mayors, and they'll help me get a little bit faster to the interview.
Never a dull moment when it comes to politics in the Fraser Valley. Yes. Mayor Paul Horn, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Don. Talk soon.
And you're watching This Week. abbyTV Sports, the UFE Cascades women's basketball team, survived a slow start on Saturday. They took down the UVic Vikings 72-49 to move to 4-0. The Vikes fall to 0-4. The Cascades get set to host the 2-2 Okanagan Heat, UBC Okanagan Heat, this Friday and Saturday at the UFE Athletic Center. And rookie Marcus Flores scoring 12 points in the fourth quarter. UFE men's Cascades basketball team looked to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. Too little, too late. UVic winning 97-86 at the UFE Athletic Center last Saturday. So the Cascades men's, they are now 1-3. The UVic Vikes, they're 3-1. Cascades get set to host UBC Okanagan on Friday and Saturday at the UFE Athletic Center. A goal in the last minute of overtime lifting UBC Thunderbirds to a 1-0 victory over the Canada West champion Trinity Western Spartans last Sunday afternoon at Richardson Stadium in Kingston, Ontario. TWU had beaten the T-Birds 1-0 or 6-5 on penalty kicks, and a week earlier in the Canada West Championship, but it didn't work out that way. UBC's 8th U Sports title is now hanging from the rafters. For TWU, it's their 5th championship silver medal to go with 5 championship titles and 1 bronze. A strong weekend getting both basketball clubs with Columbia Bible College a bit of a smile on their face. The Bearcats women's team only lost by 2 to Vancouver Island, 60-58. They hung in there. The men's team, they fared better, winning 78-63. Both teams back in action as we speak, actually, right now at home at Douglas College. And join RE/MAX True Speak Realty, for a special community presentation featuring CFL's winningest coach, yes, the BC Lions and Calgary Stampedes legend, Wally Buono. And along with his daughter, Christy, Wally and Christy will be talking about leadership, the importance of adopting a championship mindset, and creating a winning environment. The event will be by donation, proceeds going to the charity of choice for both Christy and Wally, and that's the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Christy, is the chapter director for the BC and the Yukon, and some of the proceeds will also go to the Children's Miracle Network, supported by RE/MAX. Now, this event is at the Gateway Church, Thursday, November the 23rd, and tickets are available through Eventbrite. Coming up, Cari's got the weather. abbyTV weekend weather. So, Cari, cue the song from Guns N' Roses. Will this weekend be cold November rain?
Yes, Dawn, Guns and Roses. You're very, very current. So for the weather next week, Friday, it's going to be sunny. Saturday, Sunday for the weekend, again, it's going to be raining like, it normally is for the weekend. Monday, we might have a break in the rain. Tuesday, Wednesday, back to rain again. So Thursday, it says it's going to be sunny. So I'm going to say it's going to be sunny. My fun fact of the week, though, is a 7-day forecast on average is correct 80% of the time. If you get it down to 5-day forecast, 90% of the time. If you stretch it out to a 10-day forecast, we're only right 50% of the time. So your guess is as good as mine. Have a great week.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note and your pictures and video to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.